Hi, welcome to another edition of Sac Sac Mate development. This time we are going to fix another bug. Let me show you which one. So when you load a game and then you start going through the steps, you can either use the mouse to jump to any to any moves, or the previous and next buttons down here, or you can also use the keyboard to speed up. And if you go all the way to the end, the last move, and then you hit the right arrow once more, you're getting an error, and then the arrows still work, but I would like to fix that bug so that it doesn't throw an error. So let's get down to it. We will fix that bug by writing a test first that fails, and then fixing the bug, making sure the test passes, and so we have a way not to have this bug again, not to have a regression when we are changing things in the future. So we already have a test for the game details page, which tests just the basic things, the previous and next buttons and the text, the pieces on the board. We want to add another test case here specifically for this bug. So let me say the name of the test should be something like keyboard navigation doesn't go beyond last move. Okay, we have an async function, callback function, insert. What we want to do here is to have a simple chess game with just a few moves. So I'm going to copy that from the previous test case. Okay, and then I should have copied that line too. So when we visit that page, we want to click the right arrow which moves forward one move. So we have a test helper in the Ember test helpers package called trigger key event. So use that. And the first parameter, the first argument to that function should be the name of the element. I mean a selector that designates the element. And I think I called it moves panel, data test moves panel. Let me quickly check. Yes, we have data test SSM moves panel. And then the event itself, just key down, and then the code. And I can either write the numeric code or I can write the string name, which I think in this case is arrow right, but let me quickly check. Yes, arrow right. Okay, so that should be fine, and this should be done 1, 2, 3, 4 times for each move, once for each move. So just to go to the very end of the game, I should of course import that helper. So far so good. What I would like to do now is just to insert a breakpoint here to see if the app is now set up as I expect it to be. So let me save that file and run Ember test server, passing the name of the module, which is acceptance game details. So that's going to start up the test server, and we will see if our test goes until the 4th move in the game, which is at which point we should not have an error yet, but when we next just press the arrow right button, then it should throw that error that we saw. Okay, so we have another error, not the one we expected. Element not found when calling trigger key event data test SSM moves panel. I think it's data SSM equals moves panel. Yes, so I got that wrong. Where is it? It's here. Now we shouldn't have an error, and we should see the application right here. Indeed, and you can see that the next button is disabled, so I cannot click it. But when I hit the right arrow, it should throw that error. So let me go back to the test case, remove that post test, and do that one last time. Okay, that's exactly the error that we were expecting. So let's dive into the code and fix that. So in the moves panel component, we can see that each time we hit either the left or the right arrow, we call the corresponding method on the gameplay service, which in our case is make next move. And here we didn't check anything. So if we open the service gameplay, then make next move is right here. And indeed, we just get the next move index and then making the moves between these two. So there we are not checking whether we can still make a move. So in make moves between, here we are. So yeah, we are not checking anything indeed. Let's see if in the for the previous and next buttons, which is in games, game, HBS. Here we can see that on click this make next move. So we are actually calling the same method. It's just that we disable the button if we are already at the last move. So I think the right place to fix this would be in the make next move method, back on the service. So make next move. And we should just say that if we are already at the last move, then we are not doing anything. And I think it was at last move indeed. So if this dot at last move, then we just return. We just decline to make the next move and then have that error thrown. Let's see if that has fixed it. It did indeed fix that. It's just that there was no assertion run in the test, so we are not asserting anything. So we can either just throw in that thing like assert expect 0, so that even 0 assertions is fine, or we can just assert that the pieces didn't move and everything is in its right place, just as we did above. So I guess I'm going to do the letter thing, which is this one, right? I mean here, yeah, after the first move. So we can say at the last, when we made the last move, we expect the black pawn to be on d6. So we can say d6 has an image whose alt attribute is the black pawn. And let's say we still have a knight on f3, which was the previous move. I think the knight is just either an N or a capital N. A capital N, because all the pieces are capital. Okay, so that, let's see if that passes now. Okay, I made an error, I think. We had, oh, I think I just didn't update that. Yeah, so on F3, we should have the night. Okay, now all our tests are passing, which is good. So it occurred to me that we might have the same problem when we haven't started the game yet and we want to go to the previous move. And in fact, we do have that problem, but even in a more evil way, I should say, the app is just starting to consume all the CPU because it gets into an infinite loop in the make moves between method. You can see that the moves collected will contain all the moves that we need to make between the current move and the one we want to jump to. And here it's just not going to ever reach the current move equals the 2 move condition. So we should have a test for that too. And if that bug is still in the code, then the test is going to hang. So we expect the test to hang now and not to hang when we have fixed the problem. So let's write that test. We already have the test for the not being able to go beyond the last move. So I'm just going to copy, well, the game information or the game record and then the visiting. But then instead of going to the last move and then hitting the right arrow once more, we are just going to hit the back arrow once. So instead of arrow right, arrow left. I think that's it. I might have not closed something because we don't have, we have those. Oh yeah. Okay, so that should be fine. Now if I run that test, then it's going to hang. So instead of doing that, let me go inside the gameplay service and see where the problem lies and fix that first. So the problem is that we don't have the guard in the make prev move action method. So just the way we have just added this atlas move guard in the make next move, we should have the same in make previous move, make prev move. So if this dot, I think game hasn't started, game not started, yeah, then we should just return. And if we go to the test, I feel necessary to add a few assertions just as we did here, so that we can have 2 clear passing tests. That will also mean that we are past the condition that can get into an infinite loop. So here we have a starting board, we can be sure of that. So E2 has a white pawn, and let's say the upper left corner, which is A8, should have a black rook. All right, so that should be it. And indeed, all of our tests are passing now, so we have fixed those 2 bugs and we'll not have a regression on them. So thank you for your attention and see you next time. If you like this video and would like to get notified about content I make, then go to balinterdi.com/email list and sign up. There is a link in the description below. Thank you and see you next time.